The best way to predict the future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln. What if I told you that in just 7 days you could unlock a version of yourself you've only dreamed of? In just 1 week, you can become someone stronger, sharper, and unstoppable, a force that turns heads wherever you go. This isn't a fantasy. It's a precise, disciplined roadmap to your best self. It's about crushing doubt, rewiring your mind, and building habits that define a new you. You're more capable than you realize. It's time to take back the reins. The moment won't come to you. You have to claim it now. By day 7, your confidence, energy, and focus will align with the person you're meant to be. Step up today. Your new life starts right now. Day 1. Destroy your old self to transform. You must first destroy. There is no evolution without elimination. Like a blacksmith reforging steel, you must break down the old to create something stronger. The greatest enemy to change isn't failure, it's comfort. Stagnation is a slow, creeping poison, disguised as security, keeping you stuck in mediocrity. The discomfort of transformation is like fire, painful but necessary to forge something unbreakable. The pain of regret, however, lasts forever. What fears have dictated your actions? What comfort zones have become your prison? What limiting beliefs have shaped your decisions? A ship that never leaves the harbor will never sink, but it will also never reach new lands. Awareness is the first step, but it's meaningless without action. Write down everything that holds you back, your worst habits, excuses, fears. Look at that list. That is your old self, the dead weight dragging you down. Now destroy it, burn it, rip it to shreds. This is not just symbolism. This is setting fire to the bridges behind you. There is no turning back. There was a man who had spent years trapped in the cycle of self-doubt and hesitation. He had dreams, but his fears always whispered, "You're not good enough." One evening, he sat down and wrote every insecurity that haunted him, his fear of failure, his procrastination, his addiction to comfort. With a deep breath, he burned the paper. That night, something shifted. The next morning, he woke up earlier than ever, went for a run, and took the first real step toward becoming who he was meant to be. One symbolic act of separation, and his transformation had begun. I remember a time in my own life when I was stuck in the same loop of self-doubt. I had a vision for the person I wanted to be, but fear held me back. One night, I forced myself to confront the excuses I had been hiding behind. I wrote down every reason I had convinced myself that change was impossible, every lie I had told myself to stay in my comfort zone. Then I tore it into tiny pieces and threw it away. That moment didn't magically transform me overnight, but it was the first time I had ever made a real commitment to change. The next morning, I took action, and I never looked back. This isn't a one-time event. Transformation is a daily war, and every choice either strengthens the new you or revives the old. Like a sculptor chiseling away at a masterpiece, you must chip away at your old habits every single day. No more excuses, no more compromises. You have already started. There is no stopping now. Clear away every distraction that ties you to your past self. Detox your environment, remove clutter, and rid your space of anything that fuels old habits. Surround yourself with discipline, not temptation. Every object, every routine should reinforce the person you are becoming. Shift your mindset by committing fully to this change. There is no room for half measures. And most importantly, speak only strength. The words you use shape your reality, so eliminate weak language from your vocabulary. I can't no longer exists. Write a letter of resignation to your old self. Acknowledge what you're leaving behind, then let it go. Burn it. Tear it up. This is your rebirth. The past is dead, and you are no longer that person. The only thing left is the path forward. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, you are now something greater. Day 2. Rebuild your body. Your body is not just a vessel, it is the foundation of your discipline, strength, and resilience. If your mind is the command center, your body is the army. Weakness in one leads to failure in the other. Today, you begin the process of rebuilding your physical self into a fortress of endurance and power. A weak body fosters a weak mind. If you wake up exhausted, if you fuel yourself with processed junk, if you allow comfort to dictate your movements, your willpower erodes. Strength is not just about muscle. It's about forging the mental toughness to endure, to suffer, and to persist. The Stoics embraced physical hardship because they knew a disciplined body is the breeding ground for a disciplined mind. Think about the last time you truly pushed yourself physically, ran until your lungs burned, lifted weights until your muscles shook, endured discomfort without giving in. Most people live in a state of self-imposed physical ease, avoiding anything that causes strain. But if you never test your limits, how will you ever know what you are capable of? This is where change begins. Get up, right now. Drop to the ground and do push-ups until your arms fail. Go outside and run until your breath is ragged. Take a cold shower and feel the shock course through your veins. These small acts are declarations. You do not answer to comfort anymore. You are in control. There was a time when I let my body dictate my mindset. I slept in, skipped workouts, indulged in every craving. Then one day I realized I wasn't just out of shape physically, I was out of shape mentally. That morning I forced myself out of bed at sunrise, put on my running shoes and ran. I didn't stop when it hurt. I didn't stop when I wanted to quit. I ran until I had nothing left. And in that moment, I understood something profound. My body had never been the problem. My mind had. From that day forward, I trained like my life depended on it. Because in many ways it did. This isn't about one workout. This is about redefining your relationship with discomfort. Every day from now on, you will push your body past its limits. Every rep, every sprint, every challenge will remind you, you are capable of more than you think. And when your body begs you to quit, you will ignore it. Because the new you does not surrender. Move every day, whether it's lifting weights, running, or bodyweight exercises. Your body must be tested daily. Shock your system with a cold shower each morning, training yourself to embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it. Fuel yourself like a warrior, cutting out processed junk, sugar, and alcohol. Your body is not a trash bin, it's a weapon. Stand tall, walk with purpose, and command respect with your posture, reflecting the strength you are building within. Your body is no longer a cage, it is a weapon. And every time you push yourself past your perceived limits, you forge something greater within. The pain, the sweat, the exhaustion, these are the flames that refine you. Step into them willingly. Today you begin the process of becoming unbreakable. Day 3. Master your mind. Your mind is the architect of your reality. Every thought you entertain, every belief you reinforce, and every reaction you choose shapes the world you live in. A weak mind bends under pressure, but a trained mind remains unshaken, no matter the storm. Today, you will begin the process of mastering your mind and taking control of your inner world. Most people are slaves to their emotions, ruled by impulses and external circumstances. They allow anger, fear, and doubt to dictate their decisions. But what if you could be free? The Stoics believed that true power comes from mastering oneself, not the world around them. You cannot control the winds, but you can adjust your sails. To truly transform, you must learn to govern your thoughts and emotions with absolute discipline. When adversity strikes, how do you respond? Do you panic, complain, or give up? Or do you remain composed, rational, and proactive? Most people react based on instinct and habit, but you are going to break that cycle. From this moment forward, every challenge is an opportunity. Every setback is a test. Your task is to respond with clarity, logic, and unwavering determination. Take a moment to write down every negative belief that has held you back. I'm not good enough. I always fail. I can't handle pressure. Now rewrite each one as a statement of power. I am capable. I learn from every failure. I thrive under pressure. Say these new beliefs out loud. This is not wishful thinking, this is reprogramming. The mind believes what it is told repeatedly. Train it with intention. There was a time in my life when I let fear dictate my every move. I would overthink every decision, avoid risks, and second-guess myself until I was paralyzed by doubt. Then one day, I made a conscious choice to change. I started questioning my negative thoughts, challenging my fears instead of submitting to them. When my mind said, "You can't do this," I responded, "Watch me." Slowly but surely, my entire reality shifted. It wasn't external circumstances that changed, it was my perspective. That's the power of mastering your mind. This is not a one-day fix. Training your mind is like training a muscle. It requires daily discipline. Every time you catch yourself reacting emotionally, pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it go. If it is, act decisively. Repeat this process until composure becomes second nature. The new you is not a slave to emotions. You are their master. Question everything. Challenge negative thoughts and replace them with logical, empowering ones. Practice emotional detachment by observing your emotions without being ruled by them. You are not your anger, fear, or anxiety. Reframe adversity by viewing every difficulty as a lesson, training yourself to respond rather than react. Engage in daily reflection by journaling your thoughts at the end of each day, identifying where you maintain control and where you need to improve. Mastery is built through repetition, and every day is a new opportunity to strengthen your mind. Your mind is no longer your enemy, it is your greatest weapon. And like any weapon, it must be sharpened through practice and discipline. Every thought, every reaction, every belief is a choice. Choose strength, choose clarity, choose mastery. Today, you begin the process of forging an unbreakable mind. Day 4. Command your presence. Your presence is the unspoken message you send to the world. Long before you say a word, your energy, posture, and confidence communicate who you are. If you enter a room unnoticed, if your voice wavers when you speak, if people don't take you seriously, it's not by accident. Presence is not about being loud, aggressive, or dominant. It's about controlled strength, calm confidence, and unwavering self-belief. Today, you will learn to command the space around you without saying a word. In life, perception is reality. People respond to confidence, not potential. You might have great ideas, but if you lack presence, no one listens. You might be capable, but if you carry yourself like someone who doubts themselves, the world will reflect that doubt back to you. The Stoics believed in controlling what is within your power, and one of the most powerful things you can control is how you present yourself to the world. When you enter a room, do you walk with purpose or do you hesitate? When you speak, do you project your voice or do you shrink? Pay attention to the way you move, the way you stand, the way you engage with others. Most people go through life unaware of their body language, but you are going to change that. Starting today, every movement, every step, every gesture must be intentional. The way you present yourself dictates how the world treats you. Stand in front of a mirror. Fix your posture, shoulders back, chin up, feet grounded. Look into your own eyes. Hold your gaze. This is how you will face the world from now on. Now practice speaking. Read aloud with a strong, steady voice. Feel your presence grow as you take up space with confidence. This is not just an exercise. This is the birth of a new you. I once knew someone who was incredibly intelligent and talented, yet constantly overlooked. He spoke too softly, slouched when he walked, avoided eye contact. One day he decided enough was enough. He practiced speaking with conviction, standing tall, owning his space. Within weeks, people started noticing. They listened when he spoke. They respected his opinions. Nothing had changed about his knowledge or abilities, only the way he carried himself. And that made all the difference. Presence is not about pretending, it's about becoming. Every day you will reinforce this transformation. Walk with intention, speak with confidence, and eliminate weak habits. You are no longer invisible. The world will notice you because you will ensure it does. Project confidence. Slow down your speech, make eye contact, and eliminate filler words. Control your body language. Stand tall, take up space, and move with purpose. Train your voice. Record yourself speaking, practice articulation, and increase your vocal projection. Improve your appearance. Not for vanity, but because how you present yourself shapes your identity. You are no longer just a spectator in your own life. You are a presence that commands respect. Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you build, one deliberate action at a time. Walk into every room knowing you belong there. Speak knowing you will be heard. This is how you take control of your presence, and in doing so, take control of your destiny. Day 5. Take relentless action. You've destroyed your old self, rebuilt your body, mastered your mind, and learned to command your presence. Now all of it is meaningless without action. Nothing changes until you move. The world rewards those who execute, not those who wait. Today you commit to action without hesitation, without excuses, without delay. Most people wait, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect certainty. But hesitation is the silent killer of ambition. The Stoics believed that action was the key to shaping fate. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. You cannot afford to stand still." Progress belongs to those who take the first step before they feel ready. Think about the opportunities you've let slip away. The moments where you doubted yourself, delayed a decision, or talked yourself out of taking a risk. Now imagine where you would be if you had acted instead of hesitated. The only thing separating you from the life you want is your ability to execute. Choose something you've been avoiding, something you know you need to do, but have been postponing. It could be making a difficult phone call, starting a project, or stepping outside your comfort zone. Whatever it is, do it now. Not later, not tomorrow, right now. This is your declaration to yourself that you are a person of action. A friend of mine once told me he wanted to start a business, but kept waiting for the right time. Every conversation, he had a new reason to delay. He needed more experience, more knowledge, more certainty. Years passed, and his dream stayed exactly that, a dream. Then one day he made a decision. He took immediate action, no longer letting doubt dictate his path. Within months, he was in motion, learning as he went, adapting, improving. The lesson: the right time never comes. You create it by acting now. This is not about taking action once. It's about making relentless execution a part of your identity. From today forward, you will be someone who acts immediately. The hesitation, the overthinking, the analysis paralysis, it ends now. You take action, you adapt, you learn, and you move forward. Eliminate hesitation. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Develop a bias toward action. When faced with a choice, default to movement over delay. Set deadlines for yourself. Commit to taking at least one significant action every single day. Stop waiting for motivation. Act regardless of how you feel, and let momentum build its own motivation. From this moment forward, you are no longer someone who waits. You are someone who executes. You no longer overthink, you decide. You no longer hesitate, you move. The world belongs to those who act, and you have just joined their ranks. Today, you take control of your future, one action at a time. Day 6. Build an unshakable system. Motivation is fleeting, but systems are permanent. If you rely on willpower, you will fail. The key to long-term success is not just effort, it's automation. Today, you will create a system that ensures your progress continues even on days when you don't feel like it. Most people burn out because they rely on bursts of motivation. They start strong, but when enthusiasm fades, they fall back into old habits. The Stoics understood that discipline must be built into daily life. The more decisions you remove, the more energy you have for execution. By setting up an unshakable system, you make success inevitable. Every decision you make drains mental energy. Successful people don't waste time on small choices. They automate. Think of Steve Jobs wearing the same outfit every day, or elite athletes following strict routines. You must do the same. Reduce unnecessary choices and free your mind for what truly matters. Choose one area of your life to automate. It could be meal prepping, setting a strict morning routine, scheduling workouts, or limiting social media. Remove uncertainty. Lock in your habits so they require no thought, only action. A friend of mine struggled with working out consistently. Some days he felt like it, some days he didn't. Then he set a system. He laid out his gym clothes the night before, scheduled workouts at the same time every day, and made a rule that he would go no matter what. Within months, exercise became effortless, was no longer a question, it was part of his identity. From today forward, you do not rely on motivation. You rely on systems. Every habit, every goal must be structured into your life in a way that removes choice. Build daily rituals that lead to success. The more you automate, the less resistance you face. Establish a structured morning routine that sets the tone for success and primes your mind for productivity. Schedule workouts, deep work sessions, and essential habits at the same time every day to build consistency. Use reminders and alarms to hold yourself accountable, eliminating any excuse for inaction. Remove distractions by clearing your environment of anything that tempts you to break your momentum. Lastly, make your commitments public. Tell others about your goals to create accountability and ensure follow-through. You are no longer at the mercy of your emotions, your mood, or your motivation. You have built a machine, a system that runs regardless of how you feel. This is how you sustain greatness. This is how you ensure that change is permanent. Success is no longer a choice. It is the only possible outcome. Day 7. Reinforce your new identity. The final step in your transformation is ensuring that your new self is permanent. Change isn't something you do, it's something you become. Today you will solidify your identity so that the progress you've made isn't temporary, but an unshakable foundation for the rest of your life. Most people experience brief bursts of change, but inevitably revert to their old habits. Why? Because they never truly adopt a new identity. If you still see yourself as the person you were, you will always return to the familiar. The Stoics believe that identity is shaped by consistent action. Who you are is simply a reflection of what you repeatedly do. To make your transformation last, you must see yourself differently. Look at your actions over the past week. You've made hard choices, embraced discomfort, and elevated every aspect of yourself. This is not temporary growth. This is who you are now. Every decision from today forward must reinforce this new identity. Do not allow your old self to creep back in. Every action must align with the person you have become. Write a letter to your future self 1 year from now. Describe the person you have become, the principles you live by, and the standards you refuse to compromise. Seal it, set a reminder, and revisit it in a year. This letter is a contract with yourself, a commitment to never regress. A man once told me he had changed. He had built discipline, strength, and confidence. But over time, his old habits crept back in. Why? Because deep down, he still identified as the person he used to be. The moment he truly saw himself as someone disciplined, as someone strong, everything shifted. He no longer had to force his habits. He simply acted in alignment with who he was. That's the key. Become. Don't just do. This journey doesn't end after 7 days. This is who you are now. Every morning when you wake up, remind yourself, I am the person who acts. I am the person who endures. I am the person who does not make excuses. Repetition is the key to reinforcement. Identity is built daily. Reaffirm your new identity every morning. Speak it, write it, live it. Surround yourself with people and environments that reinforce your growth. Track your progress and hold yourself accountable. Success is measured in consistency. Never negotiate with your old self. There is no going back. This is no longer a temporary challenge. This is your life. Your transformation is permanent because you have become the kind of person who never settles, never stops growing, and never looks back. You are unrecognizable from the person you were a week ago, and that is exactly how it should be.